Hi, I'm Jake from Get Your Pet Right. Today I'm here at Kellyville Pets, accompanied by Shane Simpson, a very, very well-known reptile vet down in Melbourne. Welcome, Shane.
Hey, Jake.
Today, mate, I just want to ask you a couple of questions on some like bearded dragons, some reptiles and stuff.
Yep.
First of all, what are the most common types of diseases that they actually do get?
Yeah, by far the most common one that we see in the bearded dragons particularly is a condition called metabolic bone disease, or soft bone sort of syndrome. Unfortunately, we still see a lot of that, and it's totally preventable, and we shouldn't see it, but yeah, we see heaps of dragons coming in still with that. We also see them getting a range of cancers now. There's a particular type of skin cancer they get on their eyelids, also a number of other types of lumps and bumps they get on them. And what's fast becoming the most popular or most common condition that we see is dental disease in bearded dragons. So we're seeing a lot of dragons with a lot of tartar and a lot of staining on their teeth, and it's because of the diets that they're getting fed are incorrect.
Okay, no worries. Also, what would be one of the best ways to sort of prevent those sort of diseases?
So with any reptile, it doesn't even have to be a bearded dragon, 95% of the problems that we see with them are actually husbandry based. So if you haven't got your lighting right, if you haven't got your humidity right, if your diet's not right, if the tank setup is not correct, you're going to get problems. And what we know with these animals is that they may not necessarily get sick quickly. It may take many months to years before you actually start to see problems. So the simplest and best answer to that question is husbandry, husbandry, husbandry. Make sure it's always correct for the species that you're keeping.
Okay. Would the animal benefit from a regular checkup sort of thing, like from your local vet or a reptile vet that specialises in those sort of areas?
Yeah, so we are pretty in tune with having our dogs and cats checked every 12 months, and we certainly recommend that with reptiles because there's a lot of conditions and problems that we as vets that are trained in picking up these sort of health conditions can detect and treat those before they actually become a real big problem. My advice would be to find a vet that is familiar with reptiles, because as vets going through vet school we don't get exposed to a lot of reptile medicine, but there are plenty of vets out there now that have an interest in it and are willing to learn and teach themselves and will know what they're looking at when presented with an animal that's a reptile.
Okay, no worries. Also, mate, just a final question. What would be the best way to sort of recognise these diseases so like people can understand like a short way of, like I know with some sort of cancers there would be lumps, discoloration, soft bone, the drooping mouth, tongue. What about anything else like parasites, stuff like that people wouldn't really touch base on? Is there anything like sort of signs we can? Yeah,
I think there is. Basically, firstly, know what a normal animal looks like to begin with. That's a given. The second one is to actually keep some information, some data. So regularly weigh your lizard, weigh your snake, because one of the first things that they'll often do is start to lose weight. And when I'm presented with a sick animal, I'll say to a client, has it lost weight? And 9 times out of 10 they don't know because they haven't recorded that. Most of the time they're losing weight, they're going off their food, but it can be subtle. And the problem with reptiles, and not the problem, is that they're very good at hiding that they're sick. And it won't be until the very end, when they're actually about to die, that they actually show that they're sick. They're very good at hiding the illness. And so you just have to be very familiar with the behaviour of your animal and keep an eye on that. And anything out of the abnormal, investigate it.
Rightio. Thanks a lot, mate. Hope you had a great time. It was great to listen to your lecture up there, and very, very useful information. Thank you very much. Also, we have some light setups here. Now, in your lecture, you said that the whiter the light, the better, and all that sort of stuff. Well, right now I've got some lights set up here for the general public to see the quality of Get Your Pet Right lights and everything else. With your little radars things, would you be able to show the general public the readings of our lights?
So these are UVB meters. So there's 2 different types. This one here measures the actual output of UVB, and this is a UV index meter, which most people will be familiar with on weather reports and those sort of things. So what we're going to do is, if we check, this is a mercury vapor globe, we roughly go at about 30 centimetres, is the sort of the general area that we do. We hit the button on that, and we can see that's pushing out around 200 microwatts per square centimetre. So that's quite a good output of UVB light. Now when we actually compare that to the UV index button, we can see here that's sitting at about an 8. So what that tells me is that globe is actually pushing out quite a lot of UV, and it's quite a high UV index. So to be honest, I would not have an animal at 30 centimetres with that, because that's quite high. I'd actually drop that. Now that's not a bad thing, because that light there would be excellent for quite a tall tank.
Yep.
So you want to aim at a safe level of 7 and below.
Yep.
You don't want them getting above that because that runs the risk of them getting burnt and skin cancer and those sort of things. So that light's producing excellent amount of UV and it's going to be throwing the light quite a distance.
Yep.
So if you've got a 70, 80 centimetre tank high, 90 centimetre, that's a really good light because it's going to throw that UV light all the way to the base of that. So we compare that to the fluoro tube here, we do a similar sort of thing. So at about 30 centimetres, and we can see that's pumping out about 50, 49, 48, 50 on the UVB measurement. So a lot less than that one at that distance. And we go to the index and we're down here at a 0.8, 0.9. So we can safely get a lot closer to that globe, and in fact we have to get closer. So if you have that in a tank, you want your lizard or your turtle, whatever it is, to get relatively close to that. As you can see, at about 10 centimetres, we're at about the same UV output as what the mercury vapour was, but we've got a UV index of about 2.6, so we can safely have an animal that close. You would not want to put an animal that close under this one,
because the rating would just be way
too high. You've got a UV index there of 22. They'll be sunburnt in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
So that's the difference in the globes. So the UV tubes, you can have to have them closer. Mercury vapour, you've got to be a lot further away. And that's one of the risks with mercury vapour is you've just got to be a little bit careful you don't overcook your lizards with the UV light on them.
No dramas. Always good to have that little bit of extra information for everybody.
My pleasure.
Alright, no worries. Well, thanks for that, mate.
Thanks, Doug. Nice
have a
to
good
meet
day.
you. Thanks, mate.
Alright, thanks guys.